Radhe Radhe everybody. Today I'm sharing something a little different from my usual content. This is an excerpt of Premanandji Maharajs Satsangs that I have been doing. I've been writing notes on his Satsangs, and they've been immensely helpful for me. Premanandji Maharaj does not require any introduction for Indian spiritual community. His work, his work is amazing. He teaches bhakti. He teaches everything from Gita, Bhagavatam, all shastras. Nothing is outside of shastras. He belongs to Radha Vallabh Sampradaya, and the lives that he has changed, it's just every day I could see videos coming out where everybody's saying that they have so much inspiration and motivation to continue with spiritual practices, to work on the path of dharma and work on the path of truth and honesty and ethical standards, etc. I don't have to say anything. I have no eligibility to talk about this Mahan Rishi who is like a Ramana Maharishi of current times. That's what I can say. So I'm going to link both of these videos for those that know Hindi. It's easy, but I thought I am taking notes in English. It's just a short version of key points that were discussed in those satsangs. They're not the entire satsangs. They span up to 20 to 30 minutes of video every day. The first one is titled "The More You Talk, the More You Will Be Ruined," which needs no explanation. He says, keep Vani in control. Vani is speech in control. This is number one obstacle in developing prema for Bhagwan. If you are trying to develop love for God, and we also speak a lot, it just keeps stopping that, only because when we speak, we are in Bahirmukha, or we are outwardly concentrated. So if we do have to speak, he says that you can do Katayanti cha mam nityam tushchanti cha ramanti cha. He says, Bhagwan says in Gita, if one has to talk, then talk about my glories, So talking about Lord's glories, talking about Gita, Bhagavatam and scriptures, and walking in dharma or spiritual practice, all that is going to take you inward, whereas anything else is going to take you outward. The more outward we go, the difficult it is to develop prema for Bhagwan. Prema is divine love. So he says Vani Veg. There is a Veg. Veg is just forceful. Veg is actually speed, literally translated speed. So there's this whole force that arises within us to talk. Whenever that force arises, tolerate it and don't act on it. He says, keep control of that force, to keep that Shakti within you. Save the Shakti of that Vani, and it's going to help us. And then if we have to talk only about Shastras and God. And if you do Shastra Viruddh talk, and that is opposite of Shastra, which is, meaningless banter, hours and hours of talking about someone or a situation or anything that's not going to help us stay closer to God, is definitely a no. For someone who's walking the spiritual path, for someone that does not have that kind of inclination, or it does not have that destination, that's fine. But for someone that says that I want to realize God, one has to pay attention to what their talk is, how much they talk, etc. So talking about entertainment and series on the TV or anything like that has to stop. If someone is serious about spiritual path, then this has to happen. And there are many more things that he says in that video. It is for you to watch. I'll link it below, and it's amazing. And yes, this is on Monday, and because I live on the other part of the world, I get 2 videos for each day, one in the morning and one in the night. So it's on the same day. So I just split it for each day, but I'm going to link the videos anyway. You can decide as to which date it falls on. And this is Tuesday's satsang is, I don't know what it's titled, but he says that even if you exert full effort in spirituality, in spiritual practices, and even if you fail, and then there is no result, it is okay, because it's still going to take you forward. But for you to think, get discouraged, okay, anyway, I don't want any worldly result out of this, why even make that effort? That's a no in spirituality. In spirituality, whatever has been the agnya, he says agnya is command. Whatever has been the command of the Guru to do something to help you get closer to Bhagavan, you do it without any changes to what he has done. You cannot make your own exceptions. You cannot say, oh, today I'm feeling tired or whatever. It has to be done, because that was given as a prescription to Bhavaroga. It was almost as if it's a medicine that has to be taken. Then good deeds and bad deeds bind us. He says even good deeds bind us. How they bind us is, when we do good deeds, we get punya phala, or the result of good deeds is punya, which is good stuff. So we get all intoxicated when we get good times because of our punya, right? And then we just forget about our path and just go astray. When papa phala comes, it is intolerable. Sometimes when our own papa, when our own sins consequences come, it comes so bad that you are unable to call on God, because it's so bad, you're so depressed, you're unable to even think of God at that time. So both of these deeds actually bind you. But what is that which dissolves both of these? The result of good deeds and result of bad deeds, sukrit palam and dushkrit palam, it's called. What is that gets dissolved? And that is called buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga is to remain same in pain and pleasure. So when pleasure comes, not going to jump out and do whatever we want, and when pain comes, we're not going to fall down and say, yes, that my life is done. We are going to remain same. And how is that going to happen? Buddhi yoga comes to you only when you do japa. He says the more japa one does, the more your mind is under control and you're able to attain buddhi yoga. When buddhi yoga happens, paramananda, the bliss happens, because there's a current of bliss, which is not happiness, which is not pain also, which is not pleasure, which is not anything that is worldly. There's an undercurrent of bliss that keeps on happening irrespective of the situation this person is in. So in that stage, when that paramananda happens, no papa, no sin can touch them. That is the effect of someone who does exert full effort in spirituality. That's what happens. That's the benefit one gets. Once if you exert full effort in spirituality, then no sin can ever touch you. And there's always bliss irrespective of what your external situations are. That's what I wrote, and I enjoyed these two satsangs. I enjoyed all satsangs of his, so I'm going to link both of those, and I hope you enjoy. And these are definitely related to, he constantly quotes Gita. If you want to enhance your Gita studies, please do listen to him. Amazing motivation and inspiration to remain on spiritual path, continue your studies, whether even if it's secular studies, that you're doing something, just walking the straight path, and going to bed with a cleaner and lighter heart. Just that he is absolutely motivating. I hope this video is beneficial to you, and I'll meet you with more videos. Radhe Radhe.